Hi, welcome to the final day of the Strength series. My name is Rebecca Jane from Yoga with Rebecca Jane. We will get started. Today we're going to be taking really the highlights of the week. There's been things that we did on Monday which I want to bring back in. The shoulders, we're going to do that plank again. I know you're really excited about that one. And we're going to do a tree pose, which I think is our peak pose. I'll show you a more advanced version of it for those who find tree pose quite easy. So you don't have to worry that it's an easy, it's too easy for you. Next week, starting Tuesday, we have 4 days. So we will be concentrating each day on a pose that we've been practicing over the summer. And it's in the email each day. So and we'll keep folding those in. So if you feel like, well, I can't, I'm just about to do the crow and then we stop. No, we will continue to work on those things. And I think by Christmas, my God, we'll be, real experts in it. And those that find these are too difficult, I always show modifications. You don't have to do any of those. There's always the gentler version of everything. Okay, so let's take a pause here. Let's sit nice and tall. Close your eyes and begin to connect. You're going to be doing Ujjayi breath. I will not, because once I do Ujjayi breath, it starts to clear out my lungs, which is good, but I don't need it when I have to speak. So I will do a natural breath, but you do your Ujjayi breath. Powerful breath to keep your lungs healthy. So the mantra for today is let it be. Beatles song, let it be. So anything that is aggravating you or has been lingering, let it be. When I get upset, sometimes I don't let it be. It takes me a while. So learning to let things be, just be yourself, be who you are, be authentic. Make mistakes, get sick, and that's still okay. So let's just take a few more breaths here. And let's just gently open our eyes. Stay in your seat. We're going to take a moment and just stretch out from this position. Take your right hand to the outside of the right side and inhale your left arm up, stretch over, feel that wonderful stretch through that left side. Maybe turn your gaze upwards, bring yourself into a tiny little twist. Let the breath flow in and out. And then inhale, lift your left arm up and just spin over to the other side. Stretch. Maybe looking up to that right arm. And then inhale, lift your both arms up to the sky. Bend your elbows into a cactus shape. Now it's concentrating on those shoulders. Bring the elbows in towards each other. As you do so, round your spine into that cat shape. And then inhale, lift up into your cow. Exhaling, rounding. Inhaling, opening. So do this a few more times at your own pace. Back and forth. You can close your eyes here if that feels good. And then notice how your shoulders, how strong they are. Powerful shoulders. And then let the arms come back to neutral and let the arms place the hands back on the thighs. Take yourself off of a seat if you happen to be on one. Place your feet flat on the ground, slide your bottom forward. We're going to do a few of those, what they call those invisible ball twists, working those oblique muscles. So hold on to that big exercise ball and lean back. So just lean back as far as about halfway. Some of us halfway is a little bit higher, some of us halfway is a little bit lower. Make sure your feet are flat on the ground. Take a breath in, and as you breathe out, I want you to twist, but bring the whole ball to the left. Keep your chest in line with your hands. Inhale back. This one I definitely feel. Exhale to the right. Oblique muscles. Inhale back to center. Exhale if you need a break. Feel free to do one more set and just simply drape yourself over your legs. And we're going to do another 3 sets if you can go a little bit longer. Inhale, exhaling to the left, inhaling, or whatever side you're on. Twist with the exhalation. And let's do one more to the right, and then a lift back up, and then drape your arms over your legs. Drop your head. Let the Ujjayi breath continue to move through, keeping those lungs healthy, heating your body. From here, crossing your ankles, coming onto your hands and knees, sliding your knees back, pressing back into your first child's pose of the morning, letting yourself be in the moment. Be as you are. We tend to like people as they are, not if they are trying to pretend to be something they're not. Forehead resting on the ground, feeling that stretch in the back, and also your quadriceps, your thigh muscles. We've been doing a lot of work with our thighs today, so we're going to now work a little bit more on the back, the hamstrings. Inhaling back into your tabletop. Take your left leg, but slide it on the ground. Keep the toes attached to the ground. Let's do a few little stretches with our feet. Get all 5 toes. That little baby toe really tries to get away with things. So just see if you can involve that little toe. And then come back into your neutral. Make sure your wrists are under your shoulders, knees are under your hips, and lift your left leg up just as high as your hip. Kick through that heel. Look forward. And then reach your right arm forward, coming into that balance. A back strengthener. If you want to add a little bit more to this, feel free to take your arm out to the right a little bit, a few inches, and your left leg out to the left, creating a little bit of an imbalance. And lots of firing up those glutes and those hamstring muscles. And then bring your right arm back to forward and left leg back behind you. Place that right hand down, knee down. Let's do a few little all body circles. Sit back to your heels, go all the way around. Loosening up that back. That should feel nice. Staying on just one side for right now, and then we'll come back and do the other side after we complete our right leg. So now come back into your neutral spine, your tabletop, slide your right leg back, keep the toes on the ground. Do a little bit of a rocking forward and backwards, massaging those toes, the arches of that foot, the arch of that foot. And then coming back to stillness, lifting that right leg up, keeping it just as high as your hip. Kick through that right heel and then extend your left arm forward. Spin your left palm to the right side of the mat. And then take your left hand out to the side a few inches, maybe. This is a maybe, an option, right leg out. So this adds a little bit of precariousness to what you're doing. And then take your left hand down, right knee down. And let's sit back to our heels, take a pause, and then circle in that opposite direction, the whole body circle. Ujjayi breath. So the reality is we are going to get just regular colds and things like that, but everybody's, you get nervous. So come back into your tabletop And sit back on your heels for a moment, circle your wrists. Sit and then lean back to make sure that we stretch out our quadriceps so that they're not so tight. And maybe lift your hips up a little bit off your bottom off your heels. Feeling that stretch in the tops of those thighs. Just take a few more breaths here. Periodically, just lifting your bottom off those heels. That also takes the pressure off the top of those feet, if that's bothering you. And then walk your hands forward, back into your tabletop. Curl the toes under, exhale into your downward dog. Release. Feels nice, huh? Downward dogs are, if once you get them, and they actually are very much a restful, they're a transitional pose. You can pedal the feet if that's something that feels good for you. If you want to include your hips and your shoulders, if you're a little bit more energetic, or you're trying to increase your energy, then feel free to do what exactly feels right for your body. Let the breath flow in and out. Ujjayi breath. And then from here, walk forward, or if you're in the mood for leaping, you can leap forward, coming to your front of your mat, always coming into our forward bend. The same things at every yoga class you attend, you do the similar things. These are so important. These are transitional poses. So stretching out the backs of those legs, knees bent or straight or soft, whatever is just right for you. Opposite hand to opposite elbow, or let the arms dangle. Drop your head, no tension in that neck, to no tension in the shoulders. Take a breath in, and as you breathe out, let's drop your hands from your elbows and let's gently start to roll ourselves up. Using your abdominal muscles to lift up into your standing, your Tadasana. Let's take your hands behind your back, interlace them, slide the hands down your bottom, and then lift your hands off your back, squeezing the fronts of your shoulders. Leaning forward. You can always take a strap and just grab the strap. That might help you. Come all the way down into your forward bend. See if you can lift your arms towards the ceiling, or maybe you're only stretching back behind you. That's fine. Everybody's shoulder mobility is different. Drop your head, let the breath in and out. And then bring the hands back onto your lower back. Release the hands to the ground. Step back into your downward dog. Let's lower the knees to the ground. Let's lower ourselves onto our tummies. And make sure you have space to do those. We're going to be doing those back bendy type things. Cobras, where your hands are in the V. They're forward, they're to the sides, if you remember from they're earlier in the week. So what we're actually doing is working the whole back of our bodies. So let your arms first rest next to your sides. Forehead on the ground, legs together. You're going to take a breath in and you're going to just lift your forehead and chest off the ground. Some of us are going to stay here. Some of us are going to lift the legs up as well. And some of us might decide to pick our arms off the ground and reach those arms back behind us, but then squeeze your shoulder blades together so the pinky fingers are attempting to get closer so they can touch. Look towards the ground. Squeeze those, you're feeling the bottom cheeks working, the hamstrings, the back, the shoulders. And then take a breath in, and as you breathe out, create a little pillow with your hands. Let your legs drop down. Place your right cheek on the pillow. Let's just take a breather here. Little rest. And then we're moving on. So some of us might find that's just enough for us. Otherwise, take your arms out to the sides like airplane wings. Spin the palms so they're forward, thumbs are pointing up. Legs together. Take a breath in and lift the forehead and chest off the ground. Lift the hands off, thumbs up. So this might be just enough. Some of us might want to add the legs. Squeeze your bottom cheeks. You don't have to. You pay attention to what feels good for you. You're balancing on your tummy, but at the same time you're also being pulled up. And then place the hands, make a pillow again, lower the legs, lower the chest, the forehead. Little wiggles of the hips if that feels nice. Ujjayi breath, powerful. Now we're going into what they call an I, so arms are forward, a little bit more challenging. Spin the palms so they're facing one another, thumbs lifting up, squeeze the legs together. Breathe in and lift, first lift the forehead, chest, and the arms. Keep the feet on the ground. If you want, add the legs. Flying through the air. Stretch through those arms. Lots of this you find also in Pilates. I weave in Pilates. Lots, and then release the hands down, make a pillow. And one more. It's called a W. So it's those cactus shape arms. Arms out to the sides but bent. This time the palms stay down. Squeeze the legs together, take a breath, and if it's too much, come into a child's pose. If you're saying, I have had enough, lift up. Squeeze the elbows towards each other. Squeeze, and this should feel really powerful. Squeeze your bottom cheeks to protect your lower back. Firing up those glute muscles. And then release the hands to the ground. Push up into your tabletop. Stay there for just a moment. Maybe a little wiggles of the hips. I don't like to go from something very intense into the the alternative posture, a resting posture. Now come into your child's pose. You can drape your arms next to your legs if you want a little bit more of a stretch in your lower back. Take 3 breaths here. Long, deep Ujjayi breaths. They're called counters, sorry. That's what I meant. You don't want to go right into it. You need to have a transitionary. Because your spine has been working like mad. Always thinking, always thinking. Take a breath in and then slide the hands forward. Let's come back into that downward dog, or there's always that extended child's pose. You have that as an option. Otherwise, downward dog. Let's open the feet as wide as the mat. Let's walk your hands a little closer in. We're needing, I feel like we need the little twist. So bring the hands a little closer into your feet. You can do this on your hands and knees. Take your right hand, thread it underneath your left. See if you can grab hold of that ankle of that left foot and twist and look. That should feel really nice on your glutes and your lower back. What a release, huh? Relief and release. And then take your right hand, unthread it, place it next to your left, and do the same on the other side. Left hand, thread it underneath the right, and then twist, grab hold of that ankle if you can. Some of us, and you might need to bend the knees, not a problem. Feel that back stretching, glute stretching. And then bring your left hand next to your right. And let's heel toe those feet so they're hip distance apart. And let's just walk our way to the front of the mat. If possible, keep your hands on the ground. And then once you're at the front of your mat, let's stretch out into our forward bend, feeling that wonderful stretch through the whole length of your spine. Sweep, and then sweep the arms, bend the knees, sweep the arms out to the sides, palms facing up, and lift all the way up, using your abdominal muscles, your thigh muscles, glute muscles, and then exhale, hands to heart. Whew. Okay, so we're moving into our tree. So think about a plank, how you're going to take your right foot on your left ankle. So think about how you are when you're in that forearm plank, which I have not forgotten. I know you're really happy I haven't forgotten. And you could bring the foot up wherever, anywhere but the knee. I keep repeating that, but some of us just don't remember because you're not doing this all the time. Now, what I want you to do is look to something with a soft gaze. Make sure the inner edge of your foot is pressing in evenly, so it's not just the outer edge. Bring the bottom cheeks together, and then hands to heart. And then reach your arms up. Now, if that's too much, if that's like easy peasy lemon squeezy, take your right arm on your right thigh. If that isn't easy squeezy, don't do this one. And then lean over to that right leg. So you're kind of creating a little imbalance here. But don't lose the length. Don't lose the power of your glute muscles. Oops, and I'm going to fall, which is okay. And then let's all bring our hands back together, lower the foot down. See, I do this all the time, but that gives me a little bit of a challenge. Now, little figure eights, just loosening up those hips, loosening up the shoulder. Lots of shoulder strengtheners today. And then come back into your standing. We do the other side of our tree. I always like to begin on my ankle, and then I bring it higher. Not all of us can come as high as the inside of the thigh, and hands to heart or on a wall. And then squeeze your bottom cheeks first. Then maybe reach your arms up. Now, once you feel, this is kind of easy. If it isn't, stay here. If it is, take your left hand, place it on your left thigh, palm facing up, and just simply bending over to your left leg. All body strengthener here, lots of core, leg. You can't get better than this. And then reach the arms up. And then release the foot down. Figure eights, loosen up those hip joints, loosen up those thighs. And then, if you're not at the front of the mat, find your way to the front. Let's sweep your arms up to the sky. Let's come all the way down, forward fold. That should feel nice on the backs of your legs. Let's step back into your downward dogs or that extended child's pose. Let's lower the knees to the ground. Let's come onto your forearms. Interlace those hands. Either interlace them, level 1. Level 2, you might separate the hands, okay? Level, for those that want to keep their knees on the ground, just simply slide their knees back behind your hips, just like I have it here. And if not, if you want to add a little extra, and legs together. Yes, legs squeezing together. And then maybe lift your knees up. Plank, so either one, the knees down or up, you're squeezing those legs together. You're looking towards the front of the mat. You're squeezing your bottom cheeks, your legs, shoulders, slide them down. Come on, you can do it. You can do this. Keep going. If it's too much, come into a child's pose. Otherwise, stay with me. 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 And then lower the knees down. Here's my first one of the day, so not too bad. And then sit back into your child. Oh, yes. Oops. Okay, I'm still on. And then slide the hands back to your knees. Come onto your right hip. Isn't that nice? So you worked lots of muscles this week. Scoot your bottom to your heels. So next week it will be about strength, stretching, and stickability, or what was that one I said? I don't remember, but it's another S. It's about perseverance. I want you to reach your arms forward as if you have that big beach ball. This is when I'm not going to lie down too long, because this is where I start to have coughing attacks. Lower yourself onto your back. And you know what to do here. Just hug your knees into your chest. Open the arms wide. Let the legs drop to the left, draping them down. Now, if you want a little extra, feel free to straighten your right leg. If you feel like you need, especially around the glutes, you're going to feel that the hips and the glutes. Turn your gaze to the right. Whew. And then bring your knees, if your top leg is straight, rebend it. Bring the knees back up. Cross your right ankle, take your hands on just below the knees, bring your forehead to your knees, a little stretch. Bring the knees a little closer, this is a nice stretch here. And then lower your hands back down and drop the knees over to the right. Take your left leg, the top leg, if you wish, you don't have to, straighten it. Turn your gaze to the left. And then re-bend your knees, bring your knees back up. If you can remember the cross, just change the cross. It doesn't have to be perfect. Lift your forehead, open the knees wide, grab hold of those feet so you're stretching out hips and tummy and everything. And then release your legs down to the ground. Knees pointing up just for a pause, and then extend your left leg to the left corner, right leg to the right corner. If you want to do Baddha Konasana, reclining Baddha Konasana, place the soles of the feet together. That's for more of a hip opener. Otherwise, Shavasana. Lift your shoulders off the ground and slide them down. I'm going to find my way up. You take your time. It is the last day of the strength. So give yourself extra time in Shavasana today. Maybe even you can go as long as 10 minutes, whatever you wish. 2 to 5 minutes. Let yourself just melt. This is about self-care. It's hard to take care of ourselves. There's so many external pressures from other people, from work, that we forget about ourselves. It's so easy to do so, and I'm just like all of you. So taking care of yourself, let it be, let it be, let it be. As I bring my hands in front of my heart and sending you loads of love and compassion. Have a wonderful, wonderful weekend. I will see you next week. Namaste. Thank you for watching this strength series. This is Rebecca Jane from Yoga with Rebecca Jane. And please subscribe, thumbs up, comment, and I'll see you soon.